Hi, I want to welcome you to my Lego room. Today's review is going to be on the Marvel Wolverine Mech. Its item number is 76202. It has 141 pieces. Recommended age is 7. And let's see what it came with here. It came with 3 small bags, which I put all into one bag, 1 instruction manual, and no stickers. All the details on the Wolverine Mech are printed elements. And let's see, so something else I noticed, I want to point out with the instruction book, is I've noticed on a number of instruction books at the bottom of it, there is now a progress bar. This one is progress is marked by the little Wolverine figure, and it goes across the page. I'll go a little further on so you can see. So as you progress throughout the set, in some of the newer instruction books, there's a little progress bar at the bottom. I find that pretty interesting. I think it's great. So let's talk about Wolverine. Let's talk about why I'm doing this review. We get a ton of these little Marvel mechs, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and to be honest, when I saw this mech, I wanted Wolverine because this is the third Wolverine minifig they've ever made. Let's see, I think the last one came in a Marvel X-Men set with their ship versus a Sentinel, and it came with Wolverine, Cyclops, and a couple others. And then prior to that, there was a Wolverine that came in a Deadpool set with a helicopter and a motorcycle, and Wolverine actually doesn't have this cowl on him. He has a hair piece, and I actually prefer the hair piece, to be honest. I think this is kind of it's a little goofy looking at times, but I like Wolverine, so it's a good minifig to have. Show him up close here. Alright, so this Wolverine came with 2 different faces. This is the one I prefer because the white shows through, makes him look a little more serious with the cowl. Let me turn it around here. And let's see if we can see it. It just looks kind of, I feel like he looks a little cartoony in that way. But overall, it's a really good Wolverine figure. So the mech was $7.99 at Amazon, so it was like $2 cheaper than normal. Usually these mechs go for about $10. He came with his claws, and and then he came with 1 spare claw. The spare parts it came with were, there was, besides the spare claw, there was just 4 other little pieces. Oops. And that was it for the Wolverine mech. So the mech itself is interesting, and there's a reason. And I'm not talking about his gigantic blades; those are a little bit far out, I think. But they work. I mean, he's a mech, so it's okay. I was tempted at one point to swap him out with like silver katanas, because I thought that with these it would look a little more realistic. But after looking at it, ultimately I'll let my kids make that decision. We'll see how much they like it. They have not played with this yet, but they'll get their chance. The mech is really well detailed. Uh, the This is a printed piece, and so is that, which I thought was really great. He's got a lot of articulation, a lot of mixel joints here, so you can do a lot with him. I mean, he's pretty sturdy. It's a good representation of the Wolverine for the mech. It just, the color scheme is great. I'm gonna fix that real quick. Turn his head back to normal. Straighten it out. And there we go. We got Wolverine looking like he should be. Grumpy as all hell. Alright. It's the back of the mech. So I know this set was delayed. I can't remember the exact reason. But as I was building it, I came across this thing and it just kind of really, it bothered me a bit. Maybe I'm picky because of, I've, been doing Legos for so long or whatnot. But when you look at the bottom here, you'll notice that one leg is actually a little bit forward above the other. And it's because they did this layering with the 2 points here, with the 2 ball joints. So that, yeah, one leg is actually in front of the other. You can't really... Well, I notice it all the time. It's like, sort of just like drives me crazy a little bit. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a rebuild on it and just change it to the way the other ones are. And this is the only one that's like that too. I checked out the other two that in this wave. Let's see, there was Black Panther and another Iron Man, and they have a totally different setup for how the legs work. And the setup's actually even different than the old mechs. And I really don't understand why they changed how they did the old ones. Let's just finish this up though. We got 3 fingers here and a thumb. So good looking hands. They're a little bit oversized because of the blades. We got this bigger piece so that you can get all 3 blades on there. But it's a mech, so that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We got the typical mech chest piece, and he just slides in here on that. That really simple. And these little mechs, my kids love these mechs. I mean, we got Thanos, every single one except for I think Captain America at this point. I know Black Panther's coming. I'm probably going to skip the next Iron Man one because we have so many other Iron Man mechs. And the Iron Man mech, I'm pretty sure his helmet doesn't open, and so that's a deal killer for me. If it opened, then I'd be like, all right, we're getting it. But it's just, well, I'll show you an example here of one of the other mechs and what I'm talking about with the legs here. So this is the previous Iron Man mech. I think it's really well done. I like it a lot. He's got the same type of, like, where he just slides in there. He's got repulsor blasters in his hands. And then up here, he's got this cannon that holds 3 discs. So you can fire all 3 at once or fire one at a time if you want. My kids usually just use their imagination because searching for those every time you fire one is time consuming. But if we look down here at the bottom of this mech, you can see how the waist has changed. So all of the mechs prior to this wave with the Wolverine and Black Panther and the new Iron Man all had this swivel design here with this piece right here to keep it from spinning all the way around. Although I don't see a problem in having it so it spins all the way around either. I'm really curious why Lego changed that. You get more posability with this. There's a lot better range of motion. So yeah, I'm just gonna I'll probably do a rebuild and just make this one, the Wolverine one, exactly like all the rest. I know I have the parts to do it. Here's even Miles. He's one of the latest ones prior to this wave, and you can see he's got the same setup as well. He's got the swivel there. This is Miles in the mech, but yeah, you just got more range of motion, and it just one leg on this Wolverine is forever in front of the other. Oh, here's a Spider-Man one. I'm not sure from which one, but you can see that it also is the same way. There's no problem with it. I mean, my kids have been playing with these mechs forever, and I know the Spider-Man, this mech is altered a little bit. I think one of the kids put some claws on it, and they took off there was like some like spider-like legs that were on the back or something like that. But for demonstration purposes, you can see it's the exact same as all the others. And then when we get to Wolverine, they decided to do it this way for some reason, and I am forever curious why. Maybe I'll write them a letter and ask them. I'm not sure. But other than that little problem, which I mean I see it as a slight problem because I know about it, and it's not linear, or it's not like aligned correctly. So it does. I noticed it. It's just like right there. You know, I built it, so I know it's there. And even if I hadn't, you can't not notice that one leg is in front of the other. It's just a really, really interesting way of doing it. I'm not sure why. So yeah, we got a lot. So first of all, you can't swivel the torso at all with this design. If you want to move the legs in any sort of like roundabout way, you actually got to switch it around, and then you can get some more range of motion. But with this piece right here, you're kind of limited to how far you can go. That if I'd known that, would I have not bought the mech? No, I still would have bought it. It doesn't bother me that much, and I know I can always do a rebuild and make it how I want. I can make it just like all the rest if I want. It doesn't really change much. He's still stable. He just doesn't have the same range of motion in his legs as the previous mechs do, and it's just there in my mind constantly that leg is always going to be stepping forward, or a little bit forward. But it's totally worth $8. I mean, we got these really great printed pieces. The color scheme is great. We get a cool Wolverine. I wish they would, with the Wolverine, this mech would have been perfect if they included a hairpiece for him. That would have just sealed the deal. Then it would be perfect. I would, I even overlook the fact that one leg's in front of the other, and say it's a 5 out of 5. But I'm gonna have to give this mech 4 out of 5, just because of how the one leg is in front of the other. But it still works. It's totally worth $8. I mean, I think if you buy the minifig separately, it's going to cost you about $7 for the minifig. So for $1 more, I got the mech. And even if, like, say I didn't like the mech or that drove me crazy, you got all these great spare parts for making a different type of mech, I was really hesitant about the blades at first, but they've grown on me. I like them being like that. So, all right. And thank you for watching my review. Feel free to comment if you like my reviews, or if there's something you want to see done differently. Subscribe and let me know, and I can review anything. I get just, if it has a minifig, there's a big chance I'm going to get it. I don't collect the Friends sets. I don't like those minifigs. Yeah, I buy all the Ninjago. I'm collecting all the Speed Champions. I'm really big on this Lego City because of Lego City Adventures. That cartoon is awesome. They just put out the third season on Netflix. Um, yeah, so feel free to leave a comment or anything. But all right, you all have a great day and happy building.